Welcome back to another video. On this one, I'm gonna give you a pretty thorough breakdown of one of our most favorite interior tools, and that's gonna be our Scientific Sapphire upholstery tool. I'll have it linked down to the two that I recommend, or the two that we have. We've used it for several months now. We have it on two different extractors, so I'll be just talking the pros and cons, where we use it, where we don't use it, how we use it, why we do and don't do certain things. I'll link down the two wands that we use in the description box, but other than that, I'll just be talking and I'll put some footage over of us actually using it. But this is definitely one of our favorite tools. We've used it for months now. It's quite pricey, but for us doing so many interiors, we get, we've got our money's worth. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. So we have two extractors. We have the Prospector 500 and we have the Mighty HP60 Spider. The Prospector stays in the van, the Mighty stays in the shop, both of which have the Scientific Sapphire upholstery tool. Now on the HP60 Spider, since there's no PSI regulator on the extractor, we purchased the wand that has the PSI regulator on the hose. And on the Prospector 500, since there's a PSI regulator on the extractor, we purchased the Scientific Sapphire upholstery tool without the PSI adjuster. I believe with the PSI adjuster on the hose, it's like 700, and without the PSI adjuster, it's 500. Now, yes, it is overkill for most setups. As far as like, just even with the Prospector 500 that we have, it's overkill. And it's not gonna make or break like your interior cleanings, because we worked with the Aqua Provac that uses the standard head, and it wasn't like a big machine, and we're still able to get fantastic results. But with us, the biggest thing that we didn't like about these standard wands that just ejects the water and you just vacuum it up, like just what you see on every extractor, is the mess it makes when you're shampooing. Plenty of times it's gonna put way more water than necessary into the fabric, I've never had a problem where it's too much water where it seeps through like the seat or the carpeting. It's not that much, but in terms of drying and making the drying process quicker, since it's more water and it's not sucking it up as well, then you'll inherently have more water into the fabric, which will cause it longer to dry. Secondly though, is the overspray or the overspill. When you're extracting like a seat or whatever, and like the water falls out through the sides, it's very annoying, and it makes a mess. Meaning, let's say you do clean the plastics and such, but then you start shampooing and you start extracting. Well, you're gonna have water all over the place, and you have to go back and mop it down. With the Sapphire tool, you don't have that. There is virtually zero mess. After you agitate the seats, and there's gonna be a little sling there, but once you actually start extracting, there's no more overspill. There's no more mess. It's literally, everything is contained into the wand, because it's meant to, one, use less water, meaning there's two vacuums, so it's sucking up way more water, so it's not introducing as much water into the fabric, meaning it's gonna be easier for it to dry. And if you are working with like thinner material fabric, like let's say on a door panel that needs to be extracted because like it's that bad, or on just some like thin cloth seats, you can adjust the PSI, whether it's on the hose or the extractor, to not put in as much water, because there are some seats or cloth material that you can just tell it's like not paper thin, but it's so thin that like you don't want water to get into there. And being able to just introduce less water, plus also adjusting the PSI, makes it a big benefit to having the upholstery tool. Now on the flip side though, is that, well, a pro is that you're able to extract 24/7, well, not 24/7, but you're able to extract the entire time with the Sapphire tool, meaning you never have to lift up the wand. It stays on the surface the entire time, and whether you're going up or down, it is shampooing, it's extracting. So that's a huge benefit, to where, with your standard extractor, you have to, go to the top, extract, let go of the trigger, go to the top, come back, extract. With the Sapphire tool, it's none of that. It literally stays on the fabric, and you just go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And you don't have to stop. There's no overspill. It's less water being used. So you're able to go through the fabric or whatever you're cleaning much faster than your standard wand. Now the drawback to that though is that you will use a lot more water with the Sapphire tool because it's constantly using the water. So on even a 12 gallon, well, let's say like the HV60 Spider that has 5 gallons, we'll go through one or two like a full wastewater, or we'll fill up the tank once or twice on, let's say like above average sedan, just because it does use a lot more water. And especially if you are extracting the seats and the floor mats and the carpeting, you will inherently use up a lot more water. So that is a downside to it, but the pros great outweigh the cons. And again, like, you have to have the proper setup to really maximize this. If you, like, for instance, we have a 100-gallon water tank, we have a 5-gallon container with pre-mixed carpet extractor rinse. That way, when the extractor runs out, we can easily just dump out the wastewater and then refill it up with that 5-gallon container. And if we need to fill it up again, well, we have a 100-gallon water tank that we can fill the 5-gallon water tank to then put into the extractor. So you have to have the setup for it. It's not, the bigger extractors aren't gonna fit in, a small sedan or anything like that. So you have to have the proper setup for this to happen. But for us, it was justified to upgrade those hoses because it makes it makes a huge difference when you're actually cleaning. Now, would I say like this is an absolute necessity? If you are a interior cleaning predominant kind of business, I would probably say yeah. I don't think it doesn't fit on the Aqua Pro Vac one. I wouldn't recommend it for the Aqua Pro Vac, even if it did. And I'm going off of what Lex says because he's a mastermind behind it. But just because the Aqua Pro Vac itself is $475, and the Sapphire tool without the PSI regulator is like $500. So you're spending literally the same amount in just the wand that you are in the Aqua Pro Vac. So if you wanted to spend $700 with the PSI regulator, then at that point just save up a little bit more and purchase like a much bigger machine without the Sapphire tool and just use that wand in itself. Now, yet again, on the flip side is that where we don't use the Sapphire tool is more on the carpeting or floor mats, meaning if it's there's more fibers, more cushion to the fabric, typically it's going to be on the floor mats and on the carpeting. Then we're going to use the standard wand because you want to break through the fibers and get to the bottom to extract as much of the dirt and grime that's in the carpeting. So for seats, 100% of the time, we're going to use the Sapphire upholstery tool. For basically carpeting and floor mats that have much thicker fibers, longer fibers, you want to use the standard wand because you want the water to really push through and get as much of that out. But that's really only when that really calls for, like when that condition is really bad, where we really need to go after that. But typically, like 9 out of 10 times, we're using the Sapphire tool for all types of fabric, all cloth material, fabric material. But in the situations where it's really bad, we will use the standard tool for the carpeting or floor mats. But again, never the seats. Now there is a similar upholstery tool that Mighty offers. I forget what it's called, and I think it's much cheaper. I think it's like 300-ish for the Mighty. The only reason why we went with another reason why we went with the Scientific Sapphire tool versus the Mighty tool is that the Mighty, you adjust basically the trigger is this little dial on top of the wand, versus the Sapphire tool to where it's an actual hand trigger, and it just looked annoying, per the videos that we watched, to have to adjust it up here, turn off and on, versus just having a trigger. So that's why we made the call to go with the Sapphire. It is more expensive, but the ease of use and the convenience of just having a trigger there that you can lock when you want to just continually use it, continually shampoo, was much, for us, it just looked much better. I haven't used the Mighty one, so I'm not coming from first-hand experience. It's just my assumption with it, and we really enjoyed the Sapphire tool, which is why we got both. But there is that Mighty, which again, it is pretty pricey. So if you'd want to start off with that one, it's I'm sure it's gonna be great. It's just that one little feature that I was like, I'd rather just have an actual trigger to pull versus this little dial to work with. And the build quality on the Sapphire tool is fantastic. I mean, it's very durable plastic. I don't know what it is. I don't know all the specs. You can check the description box down below for the links to really get all the specs out. But it works great. Now with the Prospector 500, so as far as the heating capabilities, that's really gonna come down to your machine. meaning if like the HP60 Spider, it has a heating elements. It takes like 15 minutes to heat up when you're using cold water, and it kind of the heat dissipates pretty quickly once you start shampooing, just because you're not giving it enough time to heat up and stay hot. Versus like the Prospector 500, that thing stays hot, like the whole basin stays really hot while it's on, and like you can hold it for much longer and the heat stays there. So as far as the heating capability and like how well it stays heated, it's gonna come down to the machine in itself. And another drawback, I don't know if it's a drawback, by the way, I'm dripping sweat here in the shop. Another drawback to the Sapphire tool is it doesn't look as satisfying, or you can't see as much of the grind being pulled up as you can with the standard wands. It's just, I guess, because it's more like it's a wider opening. It's 2 vacuums, so it's kind of a I don't really know what to call it, but it just like if you were to vacuum up the same stain side to side with the standard wand versus the Sapphire wand, the standard wand will make it look much more dirtier, and it'll have more of that like that satisfying impact, like whoa, that's gross, versus the Sapphire tool where it really got to be really, really bad in order for you to see like the wand change color. So, you know, if you're doing a lot of videos, or you're going for that ASMR satisfying type videos, or you just want that heavy, you know, before and afters or shampooing process, the standard wand will take it on that. But again, you know, it's not, there's still plenty of pros that I wouldn't put that as like, you know, I'm gonna keep the standard just because of that. So that should wrap up here. Hopefully I gave you a decent rundown of the tool and why we use it and why we don't use it and what I recommend. The setup, it's, you know, I forgot, top of the line detailing has been asking for the setup for forever on the real setup for the extractor. Lex kind of custom rigged it to put it on the reel. So I have to have him make a video on that, but it's not just a plug and play. There's a little bit of nuances that you have to do to put it on a reel. In the van, we have the Prospector 500 on a 33 foot holes. So I'll have Lex do a video on that. But anyways, let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns about the tool. If you want me to kind of give you any more details in the comment section down below, ask your question and I'll kind of elaborate more on whatever questions you have about it. Check the description box down below for the links to the Sapphire tools. I'll also include that Mighty one. Plus, you can check the ultimate guide to start your detailing business. You can check out my podcast, the Detailing Business Class podcast. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever else you stream podcasts. Other than that, I'll talk to everyone on the next one. Bye-bye.